everybody, it's Bondalyn Jolly, and thank you for joining me for today's casual conversation. I have the pleasure of sitting here with a wonderful dear friend and colleague of mine, Christian Galvin, who is with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services in the wonderful city of New Orleans. Hey, Christian.
Hello, Bondalyn.
So, Christian, you work in the luxury market in New Orleans, and luxury is, I tell you, it is surprisingly really hot this summer. So tell me, what's going on in the New Orleans market right now? First of all, let's start there.
The New Orleans market has been awesome. It had a small little lull, at the beginning of quarantine, but as people started shaking loose and needing activities to do, they were buying houses virtually, sight unseen. And you look at the graphics and the stats on showings, and they just skyrocket in there. The showings are more today than they were last year at the same time. It is truly an incredible market, incredible time to be out in the market, whether you're an agent or a buyer or whoever. It's just incredible time.
And if you had asked me like a couple of months ago, kind of earlier in the year, earlier in this, quarantine situation, what the luxury market was going to look like in 2020, I would have said, you know what, it's an election year. Like historically, we do not see a lot of luxury, discretionary buying during election years. Now with Corona, we don't really have the foreign investment that is coming in. But yeah, I totally put to shame because the luxury market is across the entire United States is hotter than ever before. Why is that?
Yeah, it has been incredible. And everything you said, I mean, you would think those variables would say, who knows what this year is going to really be like. But it's been the opposite because you have a smaller group of inventory. People just don't want you in their house. So a lot of people just keep in their house separate. You have the stock markets and all of that. And that's more people are, having to kind of gamble in a long game with that. So they're looking for maybe another alternative that, well, if I have to play a long game, real estate is also a long game and might give me a lot more joy. Hence why we're looking at, 30A real estate, just blowing up and doing incredible. And, the properties coming on the market and just all the inventory just disappearing. And it's remarkable. And you've got the interest rates are really low. So they can, buy these houses on 3%, 3.5%, close to, cost of living, inflation. It's just been remarkable at the opportunities to go buy real estate instead of just saying, oh, let's go to the market and let's do day trading. Well, that's not really going to do too much for them, but they can go and buy real estate and get joy, cheap money, and play that long game. And real estate has proven over the decades and generations to be a really solid investment.
Yeah, and it's funny you say brings you joy because the stock market is not bringing me joy right now.
No joy. No joy. But real estate brings lots of joy. You buy a place on 30A, you sit on your fabulous balcony, we sip wine, we look at the gorgeous blue waters of the Gulf, we go and stroll around, and it's joy. So rather than stocks and we sit there and look at the pretty paper and the numbers go up and down, we can do great there, but the interest rates are not going to be fluctuating much over the next at least 2 or so years. So it's a great opportunity to go out and buy something and think about investment as something that can bring joy.
So we do have these low interest rates, but we do have a low inventory market. So what tips do you have for our agents out there that are working with clients that are trying to snap up luxury? I'm in the LA market, and I think I've shared with you, I have had 3 different offers on houses that my husband and I have put in. Every single one has gone into a bidding war, all cash deal, well above asking price. I mean, it is insane. So what tips do you have to help agents out there with their luxury market clients?
The market has been the same here. So going into bidding wars, people wanting these houses, they have time on their hands, low interest rates and low inventory. So the biggest advice generally is you got to have as few contingencies as possible, AKA go in as a cash buyer. Figure out how to be a cash buyer. How can you be that? What relationship do you have with your banker and your lenders? Or do you have ways to tap sources of income in the short term to go in as a cash buyer that you can then flip on the backside and pay them off and get a loan on the back end of the deal rather tthan the front of the deal? How can you go in as a cash buyer? That's the number one contingency because jumbo loans are very difficult to get right now. They're wanting only conforming loans, primary residences. So you want to go after and be competitive. lower those contingencies, and be a cash buyer.
That is great advice, Christian. And so everybody that is out there, what the heck do I even want to say? I don't even know. I totally lost. I wanted to ask you about like the food in New Orleans, and then I'm like,
Oh,
no.
we had fabulous food today. What was my lunch? Everybody wants to know lunch. So we went out with my mother and we had a nostalgic day in New Orleans in Lakeview, the neighborhood. Very classic New Orleans neighborhood. My mother grew up there on Milne, a dear friend of her when she was growing up, the family home. So it was, again, a cash deal, came to market just for the land value being torn down. So we walked through the house and then we went down to the lakefront to a restaurant called Felix's. And we had an awesome fried seafood platter, soft shell crab, oysters, shrimp, fries, overlooking the lake and the harbor, watching boats go up and down. And it was just an awesome afternoon in New Orleans. It couldn't have been more quintessential of a day.
Oh my gosh, I need to get to New Orleans, hopefully soon. You know, we're still out here like in Los Angeles where they don't want us traveling places. I was planning to try to go to New York this summer, and the governor just came out yesterday in New York saying if you're coming from California, you have to self-quarantine for 14 days. I'm like, I wasn't even going to be in New York for 14 days. I'm stuck in California.
No. Go to places that are, there are options there that allow you to still social distance. And New York is really tight, but Mississippi, Bay St. Louis is going to have an amazing 4th of July weekend. That's where our family is going to be out, and mingling and doing lots of social distancing. They have big areas for concerts, so everybody can keep a nice proximity from each other. But it's going to be an amazing weekend down here in the South, and hot, but hot and humid. But we're going to have a great time eating and having some good family time.
Well, that's awesome. So everyone out there, we hope that you have a wonderful, safe, social distancing July 4th holiday. Christian, thank you so much for joining me today and talking about the luxury market. If you are looking for luxury real estate in the New Orleans or South area, please contact my wonderful friend Christian. And if you're looking for leads in terms of buyers and sellers, particularly in the luxury markets, check us out at tryelevate.com and request a demo with our wonderful success team, and they'll talk to you a little bit about how we can help with that. So everyone, be awesome, be safe, happy July 4th, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.